Hello, welcome back to the LCS Challengers League. I'm Mad Magical, joined in by my students this time around in Mazel and Covey. We're going to ask them some questions that they should know if they've done their history and done their research on these players.
Done my history.
Yeah.
You know, I was told by one of our wonderful producers behind the scenes, Ollie, this morning, that I did look like a geometry professor.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep the professor look going. I feel like it's good for me. So
it's your brand.
Student, I'm not as sure, but you know what? I will entertain you with this one, Mad Magical.
I don't know. I feel like I've upgraded the professor look in this one. Just gonna say that right now.
The sweater. I respect the sweater game and the tweed jacket. It's a nice touch.
Is this 8? Is this number 8?
Number 8.
I'm not answering that until the end of the show. I've told you this already. I've already answered this. All right, but the game I'm coming up with is a very original name that no one's ever come with or even rhymed with.
Why did you write it like that on your board?
Because I got bored halfway. I got bored halfway writing through it.
Okay.
So that's why. So
now, stat. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you questions where you have to pick one player or the other. It'll be for each one of the lanes. And you pretty much have to just pick. You guys can answer the same this time around. You could possibly tie. There is no bonus round.
You know what? You know what I'm going to do for this one, Mazel? You know what I'm going to do for this one, Mazel?
Oh my God.
No notes.
Well,
no notes.
I'll be honest. I think I've got
memory only. No cheating again.
I think I've got things that are going to make it really difficult anyways.
Excellent.
So why don't we start off with our first question? Our first question is, which player has played more Ornn games entire career?
Oh my God.
Gamsu or ADD?
All right. ADD is a world-renowned tank player, but I'm actually going to go with Gamsu because I feel like this is a trick question.
All right.
I'm going to go with ADD because why not?
All right.
Because I want to be different.
So we have different answers. ADD for Mazel and we have Gamsu for Cubby. Well,
which one is stat and which one is that?
I don't care. I don't care. The answer is ADD. He's got 35 games to Gamsu's 25.
Let's go.
You got in my head, that Magical. I thought you were going to trick me. I'm done. I apologize.
I'm done.
All right. Move on.
I got in your head. Basically, I knew you were going to try to have that kind of mental gymnastics.
I knew he had 10 games more than Gamsu. I knew that.
Yeah. I mean, also why I chose this question, I'm going to tell you each why the reasoning is, because we look at these players, and having gotten to talk to Chad beforehand, Chad actually talked about how both players are typically tank players in their career, even though Gamsu is very well renowned for his Gnar play. But as of lately, both of them have been trying to break out of that mold of being just tank players and get more into carry capacity.
We did return to the Scion that game, the ADD special.
We did. I'm just saying that that's kind of what the trend has been for them lately, even though we got 2 more tanks from each of them. Well, let's move on to the next question. This is one that has less about stats and more about the histories of players. Okay. So, question 2. Which player has placed highest during any scouting grounds? Winnie or Chad?
All right. Well, this is an easy one because we referenced it in the pre-show. And Mazel, I'm going to let you guess the same thing as me. It's going to be Chad because Chad has won.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. This is scouting ground. This is scouting ground.
I was about to say.
It's Winnie.
I was about to say.
You almost got me. You almost got me.
Almost.
All right. Now, you can go the same answer that I was going to go, which was Winnie. So
yes. So you are both correct. I almost got him. Almost. You saw it here first, folks. He was that close. It is Winnie.
I wish I would have got first, though. I was hesitant.
And that's the same year Chad was there, and he got 3rd place. So
that was the year that Chad made it through 100 Next and 100A. Yeah. And then Winnie was on Wildcard, and they were the top team that year, where it was actually Bradley Mid and Arrow 80.
Yep.
So kind of fun that they're both on TLC now.
Good times.
All right. Well, you literally said what I was going to say about that piece, so
I'm still winning.
I don't have to anymore.
I'm still winning.
It's 2-1 right now. Mazel has answered both of them correctly so far. So let's get into question number 3. Whose champion had a better win rate in 2022? Darkwing's Cassiopeia or Balulu's Vel'Koz?
Oh God.
All right, Balulu's Cause it's really nasty. I really like the Balulu
I gotta go with my boy Darkwings.
I think it is Darkwings, I will say, but I'm gonna go with Balulu's the cause, the Vel'Koz.
Dude, you just want to lose.
I do.
Lose.
Yeah, but I will say, Cubby, you do want to lose because it is
Yes!
Darkwing's Cassiopeia. He had a 100% win rate in 5 games. While Balulu, he had an 85.7 win rate in 7 games. So he was 6-1.
Now, what
Some
about
nuts
bans?
win
Do we
rates.
count Balulu bans? Does that count as a win? I mean, it doesn't get you to 100.
Wouldn't
but
get you to
be
100.
a lot of
so
outcast bans.
It
Seems a
would,
bit
but it would
sus.
not get you to 100 still. You'd still be,
Seems a bit
because
sus.
that one loss, you'd still be just short. But yep, that's 3-1 now, Lennon. So, Cubby, you have to
Ain't no
answer
coming back
differently.
from this one, Cubby.
No, there is. You can tie. You can
Tell
tie.
that.
You get the treatment too.
Yeah. All right.
No, it's only my treatment.
So, let's move on to our 4th question. Which player has the most pentakills? Lynx
Oh my
or
god.
Wixie?
Oh,
Wixie.
it's got to be Wixie.
Wixie.
All
Gotta
right.
be Wixie.
Both of them are answering Wixie. Is that correct? No, it's not.
No!
It's Lynx.
Are we counting collegiate matches?
So Lynx, what's
not,
funny?
It's not counting collegiate matches. It's
Wow.
He got 2 in the last Proving Grounds Open
Yes.
qualifiers, both against Maryville.
In different games, in PGCQ1 and PGCQ2. I used
Yep.
that as a fact for
I
Lynx
can't believe,
in
I
the
can't believe
first
you wouldn't
week.
guess Lynx then.
Well, because I was
I
like,
remembered
maybe
Wixie's
I'm
penna
missing
last
something for Wixie,
I
but
remember Wixie's penna.
yeah.
It was really nasty.
It was.
And
It was.
also the fact that it was against Maryville.
It was a
in
certified-
2 separate qualifiers.
The Wixie penna was a certified Zeri moment before we were used to certified Zeri moments.
Oh
All right.
gosh.
You know what?
Good
I
times.
said there was not going to be a bonus point, but you know what? Just to make it up to Cubby, because he has felt
Don't do this.
spited
Hey,
beforehand.
include
We're
the
gonna
supports. Include the supports, okay?
We're gonna
call
we're
it
gonna
a
have
bonus
this
point.
last.
We're people too.
Well, I mean, the last question is about supports.
Oh wow.
So,
Of course, look at your bias, Magical. It's showing.
so we're gonna give the
Supports are people
supports
too.
2 points here. So, who has a better KDA on Rakan? Skytech
fuck
or Joey?
It's definitely Skytech. Skytech's no for Rakan.
I will have to go with Joey to try and win, but also
Really go for
Skytech
it.
did hit Grandmaster playing Rakan
He
mid
did.
AP. Pretty fun fact.
I'm going
Joey.
for Skytech.
Give me
You're
Joey.
going for
Love my boy.
Skytech, seeing
My boy.
if the mental gymnastics, if I'm trying to trick you again. Well, this is where you gotta just never trust me, because it is Joey.
Damn.
Joey has a 4.08
Oh, it's
KDA, and Skytech is a
It's close.
3.87, which means we got a tie between Mazel and Cubby. And the reason why I chose this last question, I didn't actually justify the last few questions. Pentakills was just because it's really interesting. We saw Wixie get a really exciting one last year, last split. It was super awesome to see how he was able to perform. Then also Lynx being a player that we've been really excited about, having 2 pentakills against the same team, but in different actual tournaments was wild. Balulu, he was very excited because it's Vel'Koz, but Darkwings also has his own in Cassiopeia. Then we look here at the supports. Engaged supports is something that we've seen Skytech. We just saw him right there with Rel, how good he is at engaging with these champions. But Joey is no slouch at that either. He does like to play pretty aggressively himself. So there we go.
True.
Tie game in this or stat. Both Covey and Lennon tie it out. I think, does that mean that you guys just tied the whole time? Or does
Yes.
Yeah. Yay, nobody wins! Woo! All
Really
right.
Is that how
embracing the
it's supposed to
NACL
happen?
best of 2 spirit, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So let's really quickly
Even though
talk
we've
about what
had two
happened in that
2-0s
last game.
today.
Let's talk. Oh, let's see. Let's talk about this game really quick. We got only a couple seconds to go. So, Lennon, I'm gonna give you the honor to break down what happened in that last game.
Oh man, you made me think about all those questions. Now you want me to go back to
Yes,
the game?
yes.
Oh,
you
no,
can-
come
I'm giving
on,
you 10
man.
seconds.
Come
9,
on.
8, 7.
Winnie
6.
good. Right place, right time. Lynx also V good. There you go. Oh wait,
All right.
can't throw my boy Skytech out with the
Well done.
engages. Sorry.
All right. Well, very well done. Very well done. You know what? I'll give you that one, Lennon. You did a good job trying to fill. But you know what? I want to get into these games. I'm
No,
ready. to
Cubby doesn't get a chance.
No,
Okay. fine.
of course not. He's a color.
Aha!
Producers
You've
are
been
saying I
taken
have
out.
to. They're saying I have to, but you know what? I can also just continually talk because there's
Oh
a timer
my
that I have to
God,
look at.
yes.
And everyone knows that I'm able to consistently talk and not really stop. I'm just able to have this kind of mental fortitude where I just say whatever comes to my mind, just constantly riff forever. You know what? Fine, Cubby, talk.
Take
Jeez.
my sip of my
Right,
tea.
right when I was going to sip a tea. You just
That's
talk.
exactly why I did that.
All right. Well, thank you, man. Magical. I knew just how I could break you. I think that Lynx is Skytech for me. Very impressed with that game. I really like the game plan of Winnie. Also, maybe some of our LCS teams could take a lesson for when to pick Victor as the counter to Azir. Winning side and winning jungle matchup means that Victor can get through the early stages where you lose push, means that likelihood of losing flash much lower, and you scale harder in the later stage of the game.
I'm interrupting you. It's over. You went over time. Now you gotta get into the game. You gotta talk about this last game. It's our series. I'm excited for this one. Yeah, you can sip now. Now you can take a sip. Let's get into our final game, our last game in our best of 2 series. Bazel, Cubby, get us underway.
We're back on the rails. We're going straight forward. We're going to finish this last game. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. IMTC Challengers on the blue side, AOE Gold on the red side. We had such an incredible game number 1 from AOE Gold as a whole. We said this series dictated by the junglers and how they play with their teams, and it was very much that. Winnie finding a lot of those early advantages. Now, how do IMT change things up? I'm sure Chad felt confident on the Rengar. Don't know if we're going to get that one again this time.
Who would have thought that we'd have a chaotic task with Mad Magical?
Who'd have thought?
Nami?
Good times.
Good times. Oh, at least we tied in both games, and we already have an adaptation coming in. So AoE goes for the same side in terms of side select, but we are changing up the bans. There was a Callista banned out by IMT. That's going to result in a Nami ban, not a Lucian ban, a Nami ban. So teams studying LCK, where they deny the Nami's Lucian. I do appreciate that, AoE. And we'll see how that changes things up, because now Ashe, Maokai, they're both up and still both very high priority.
Caitlyn also was a prio ban so far pretty much all day, and was also in this one for AoE. Not maybe banning that one this time around. The Vi rejoins that table for IMT, taking that away. The setup facilitation for Winnie. But this ban for AoE is going to be a pretty important moment in this last picks and bans.
So I got to say, Chad's played 7 champs this split. None of those have been Maokai. So that tells me that we're probably going to see a more Ashe priority on the side of IMT. That's why AoE is going to ban it away. And now we really get the true answer. Do we say Maokai for Chad? Do we still value that champ after the nerfs? We've seen it do rather well today. I think it does the same thing as it does. It's just not quite as strong, and that's fine. I still think it's a really strong pick overall. So we do have rotating through a couple junglers. I'm expecting the Maokai.
Yeah, I would see that very
never
heavy
mind.
presence.
Okay.
Potentially. No. First pick for IMT Challengers will be the Varus for Wixie. So a lot of that strength with the build pass that we've seen starting to adapt for Varus as a whole. A lot of versatility, it feels like. But now AoE are on the board with 2 picks coming back to back.
Wixie's Varus is 1-0. Now the real question, I will say, I think that the way you beat Maokai is by taking the map away from Maokai early. I've really liked the Kate Lux comps into Maokai. I think that's the one way you can kind of play into it. So I am curious if we see an Elise Caitlyn locked in here on the side of AoE, because they are still expecting a Maokai. Now that you see the Elise, you don't necessarily have to go Maokai, because that isn't the best matchup. We've already seen a little bit of that today. So we'll see if Chad digs into his deep bag of tricks, but I would love to see a Caitlyn here, or we could see Jhin, but I still like the Caitlyn.
Looks like it might just be that. Now, I think this sets you up for a little bit of that versatility in its own right, but obviously prioritizing that little bit of setup towards Elise. Those deadly flourishes obviously going to be very crucial. Interested to see how it goes in the lane, though. We put a little bit of emphasis on the aggression that we have seen traditionally from both these bot laners, and I feel like that might not be a different occasion here, as we're probably going to see some engagers or at least a little bit of fun in the bot lane.
I think we get it again. Yeah, I think it's the Chad Rengar.
Okay.
It's good. You can play it into Elise. You just have to survive the first 6 levels, or 5 levels. Once you get 6, it gets a lot better for the side of Chad. We did see Chad able to find the Elise and the success of that pick. Some of the stages in the mid game. So see if Chad
and that combo of the W, right? Like that was, he's so clean with it. It's kind of crazy.
Now, do we get wild? Do we see something like a Joey Leona? Joey Nautilus try and target down
Olaf for ADD.
What?
He's not coming to play anymore.
I gotta say, I'm really surprised that we're seeing Olaf, because a lot of the changes around the melee items were they took away the Omni Vamp and gave him Lifesteal. Now that's Olaf can still use the Lifesteal, right? But Omni Vamp, of course, having the healing on some other things really helpful for the Olaf. And I gotta say, I'm surprised that we do see a Gnar, because when Gnar's mini, Olaf can run you down. So we'll see if Gamsu can play carefully around this, as that will be the counter pick Now, Jhin can be flexed to support. Still expect that to be marksman against Varus. And we should see some mid bans being thrown out here to target each of our mid laners, as is the role that's not selected. And I'm expecting a mid pick for AOE so they can blind, or they can save counter pick for support.
I'm so interested at this Gamsu ADD matchup now with the Olaf versus Gnar.
Yeah.
I just want to see how kind of they play into this. Obviously, Balulu's Vel'Koz now banned away by AOE Gold, not giving over that comfort pick to him.
I think Cause is really good into Azir, so I want to see IMT actually take that away. It would give Darkwings a way to get away from both Olaf and Rengar. So I would actually really like to see IMT take that.
This is the Heimerdinger ban, which had fallen off pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So like in priority is still the ban here towards Skytech and Lynx, which maybe that Jhin Heimerdinger combo something pretty heavy.
Surprised though, because Heimer's turrets, you can now take him out with 2 auto attacks instead of 3. That's a really big deal when you have 2 champs in the bot lane. You're losing damage out of that.
I still feel like that combo is such a pain for Jhin. Just the fact that you have to put even two, all right, even 2. It is the Zoe ban though towards Balulu as well. The Karma ban joining the table as IMT's last ban.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't take away the Azir. Like I think Azir is a lot of safety against Rengar, and it also is push early to help enable this Elise. So really curious what the answer is going to be here for Balulu. No way we see Olaf mid. That's I'm just throwing that out there. No way.
Just throwing it out there. Just foreshadowing to some potentials there,
throwing it
right?
into the universe. No way we see Olaf mid.
No way it comes back to us, right? No way it comes back to us. We do want to see what the setup is here for Joey, and he's going to lock in the Blitzcrank. All right.
Line too. Okay. So this opens up the book for Skytech. I will say the Silas does mean that you cannot go Alistar, which is a matchup that I do like in the Blitzcrank. So I think Alistar would have some value this game. Not anymore. You cannot give that ult away to Silas, so you got to be careful with the support pick.
It's a very melee heavy comp from IMT Challengers.
Yeah, usually against Olaf, I would advocate for more Enchantresses. Like I think the Karma is a good takeaway from IMT. But we'll see. I mean, we could just default here for Skytech. He's got a deep pool. We could go Rakan.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's something where you can get away from that Olaf. Blitzcrank can actually cancel your Grand Entrance with his hook or his E. So it's not the easiest lane to pilot for the side of Skytech, but it is his best champion. So we'll see if Skytech can follow up a great game 1 from him in this game 2.
Yeah, on the Rel in game 1, now on the Rakan, and to make sure those engages are on point for AoE, as they already 1-0 up in the series with that incredible game 1 performance. Now, with a lot of similar pieces and feels, at least in that jungle matchup that we said is so heavily important in this one. The set stage, I guess, is going to be very bloody, it feels like, especially between Chad and Winnie.
I think, again, all eyes have to be on Elise, and we expect Winnie to work bot lane. Olaf in the top lane, that is a big X. You do not gank there.
Don't go there.
Especially after 6. It's a no-go. We're looking to survive that lane as Gamsu. But Winnie, focus on bot. Again, I think that you can fight mid with the Silas, and you can do some things with the Blitzcrank. I've been a big fan of Blitz. I think he's in a pretty good spot right now. I favor Blitz over Nautilus in most comps. We'll see if Joey can use it to success this game, because he does have really good targets to take down. So a lot of eyes on Joey.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And I think obviously Joey, having come off the year of working with Arrow, but now working with Wixie in a different capacity, but I still feel like I see a lot of the similarities in terms of how Wixie and Joey approach the game. And I think that's been still something. I know you were over there at their facility the other day, but I think Joey has been, for me, one of the brightest points of the semi-pro system here, because this guy is just so easy to work with, it feels like, and he slots into a lot of positions really, really well. And I'm again, I said at the beginning of the series, Wixie and Joey, I hope, will be one of the strongest bot lane duos we have by the end of the year.
I think that, hold on, we might get frisky here, as we could have Joey going for some really dark Blitzcrank technology, as they will at least get the ward kill, but we'll see if there's a hook to take this buff? No, it's just a guaranteed start, but they do see Chad start on the enemy red buff. Again, I think Joey, there's a reason he's been in the system for a while. A guy that is good to work with and a good player. And we'll see if they can use that, as I love the first trade here from IMT. Punishing Lynx and Skytech coming to the lane later. Love that.
I know I suck at the game, but there's a reason I ban Blitzcrank as Jhin, and Jhin is my main all the time. It's just annoying to play into, because if you get hooked, there's literally nothing you can do.
It does suck.
It's one of the worst feelings you can find, but I'm sure Lynx will bear the brunt of that a lot this game. See Chad with this early pathing around, had taken the Chicky Nuggies of AOE.
So Chad is showing that he is now crossing and trying to take his own camps. This is decision time for Winnie. Does he go to fight? And I think Winnie really can. With the Jhin Rakan lane, a lot of potential here for Winnie to go get up in the face of Chad. This is spotted by Balulu's ward in River. So we'll see. Winnie did pop the sweeper. We'll spot the ward, so he is going to walk over it. Chad knows that Winnie's going to be here, but he has red buff this time around, which helps a lot.
Another fight in the jungle. This time the red buff is not going to even be part of it. It's just a 1v1, and Chad wants to assert his dominance, but he has to flash away from the creepy spider in the bushes.
And part of why Winnie can go for this is that bot lane does have push. This is the advantage of Rakan versus Blitzcrank in the early stages. So much like last game, Chad with the red buff will be able to keep on farming, can heal up, but Winnie's going to deny Chad his own red buff.
That Krug just ran all the way over to Winnie. that little tiny baby Krug just ran all the way out there. It is that advantage towards bottom lane that AOE are playing towards, though, and I think if they can continue to press with Winnie and really get this combo locked with Skytech and Lynx, that's where their bread and butter will be.
Yeah, Winnie has nothing to do right now, so he's just waiting to see if Chad has the skip on him. But ADD is trying to affect this mid-lane matchup. I love this from ADD.
He's just saying hello to Darkwings, apparently.
He proxied a wave. It's good use. It's not the biggest win in the world, but again, ADD trying to do something with his priority. IMT really spoke highly of ADD and how smart he is about the game when I was over there yesterday, so ADD trying to get that impact in.
They're really forcing the spot lane, though, Cubby. You got to watch this pressure from Winnie.
Yeah, they're trying to dive on this wave, but they don't have a wave. This is going to be tough.
Got 2 minions. One minion.
They don't have a wave. Yeah, no wave, no dive.
Not going to find it, but you can see where the heads are at from AOE. Yeah. Definitely putting a lot of resources, or trying to put a lot of resources in this bottom lane. Dragon will be spawning about 45 seconds while Chad takes the top side of the map. Winnie going back to his jungle to start up his Gromp clear.
And the big one here is see if Chad gets those respawn raptors. If Chad's able to actually take those away from Winnie, then he wins out of this early game very heavily. But actually the Gamsu hop here. Does Chad look top? No? It's gonna
nope, he wants
go
the
to those respawn
raptors.
Yep. That's really big. Those respawn camps still, a lot of experience to hand on over. So the fact that Chad's able to not get the first raptors, but also the second. Sound early game plan for Chad, and a much better start for the Rengar.
And a little side point there. They still don't know that he is over here. I mean, maybe the hover from Balulu does give that away, but Winnie will show that Chad has taken his... Oh my god, Balulu just going in. Almost just kills Winnie outright. He doesn't get the kill. Chad waiting in the wing on a ward means Darkwings will not move forward. Very close to first blood for IMT.
Okay, Balulu. Hey, he just walks into the Elise and one-taps her. Gets the Chad for the flash for free. What a Chad. Balulu on the Silas. Really good to see again. He's adapting to NA all right. And good to see some of that aggressive gameplay. I was not expecting that. Knows his limits on the Silas.
And that, flexibility of the pick into the draft, right? I think that's such a crucial part to IMT's draft here in game number 2. And the usability of a lot of the ultis on the other side. Now Joey looking for the play onto Darkwings. Won't be able to predict it just yet.
I was trying to
save Balulu's lane, though, a little bit. I like that.
Balulu did sack his health bar to find the flash on Elise. So I think Joey hovering there was necessary for the side of Balulu to make sure that he could pick up this wave, which he now does.
This looks like Dragon, maybe.
Yeah, so Balulu did sack a lot of his health bar. And so AoE, it will be the flash out of Winnie, but they will use this to take the Dragon, as Lynx is just coming off a reset. No mid-prio here for IMT with Balulu back in base, and it will be the early first Dragon again for the Elise team.
Stacking the Dragons might be a perfect ticket to the late game here for them, as there will be the Hex Dragon first going over, while Chad just kind of continues to clear. But I do want to check in as we are now getting our second game of Rengar versus Elise. I think a lot of team help in terms of this matchup as a whole, but how are you feeling about Mr. Chad versus Winnie? If Balulu Balulu's just a Chad today. He just wants to go in. I guess Darkwings is here as well. Joey with the grab. Darkwings. Maybe he gets out of here. ADD has now gotten here. Balulu.
Oh my god.
It's just a madman.
They're playing in between turrets. I gotta say, IMT, like, they don't get too much out of this. It's a flash for flash trade from the mid laners, but what they might get on the back half is... Oh no, they gotta fix their wave states. Maybe they get a play on the Lynx. Like, Lynx doesn't have a support, but I gotta say, IMC, I think they're pushing a little bit too hard. Like, AOE is too far into their jungle. Them going for the fight in the back half, I mean, Chad does get the jungle camps away from Winnie, so I guess that's what makes it pay off in the end. I mean,
his whole top side has just not been his.
Yeah,
this is like the third chicken nuggets?
Yeah, it is. It's been a bit of a split map scenario, but Gamsu's only down 3 CS in the matchup. Olaf hasn't been able to snowball ahead. It's not like IMT are losing everything across, or AOE is losing everything to IMT across the map. It's been pretty even trades so far, and we will see if IMC can get more, because their comp is strong early, and that's where my concern lies. The fact that because they're using a lot of these big spells so close to where like AOE's base, AOE can slink out and not get punished by kills, and that does take away a lot of tempo from IMT. So I think this Rifthold fight, they have all their ults up, and I really want to see if they can cash in on a lot of the strength their comp has right now.
I mean, both teams all inning on this. Skytech and Joey on their way to this 4v4, potentially brewing around the Rift Herald. Chad will walk into Skytech as he's helping him out. Oh my god. Oh,
got it.
Oh, Chad.
Joey's here.
And they get the knock up, the damage.
Oh,
rocket grab still there. When he repels, he has to sacrifice his life. And finally, 8 minutes, 36 seconds in, we get first blood to Balulu.
Now it cashes in, and now Elise feels real bad with where she's at in this game. No Sork shoes for the Elise. And, I mean, this Herald's going down. Chad's waiting to see if anyone from AOE checks him on this Herald, but that's what I was waiting for with IMT again. Like, their team comp, it's very strong early. Good to see them finally be able to make a play that, not only gets themselves a kill, but also gets themselves a neutral.
We're going to take a look back at the play here as Chad walking straight into Skytech.
You're damn strong on Rengar at this point. Winnie had Smite available to him, but Chad gets it with the Smite auto attack combo. Winnie's still being down a level because of how much Chad has denied him throughout this game. Ends up going down as the second go of Rengar Elise has been much better off for Chad and IMT.
I think especially when you think about the things that went right and wrong in game number 1, I'm glad to see that continuation of the strategy, but especially more of that emphasis around aggressive play from mid lane, and Balulu especially. I think AOE have done a good job at responding to a lot of Chad's invades into Winnie's jungle, and especially moving with Skytech now, leaving Lynx down to the bot side. That's playing a lot to AOE's strengths, but you do have to think about this setup next time around for Winnie. He's not going to have that same advantage he had in game number 1.
And a lot of that too. I mean, the Rel, you don't have the follow-up and the Rakan that Rel had either, so that's tough. I think the good news for AoE is the fact that Gamsu did get out of this Gnar matchup A-okay. I think the Omnivamp changes do hurt Olaf on this patch, and I'm kind of surprised we did see a blind Olaf after a lot of the item changes. But we will see what ADD can do with this pick, and we will see if AoE can find something here, as they don't have 6 yet on Skytech. That's a big cooldown that AoE's still missing, as it hasn't only been Winnie set behind on this Elise, but it has also been Skytech who has been trying to hover Winnie on Elise, much like the last game, to try and make some of these plays work.
It's been a lot of hovering. I mean, like you were saying, Lynx has just kind of been left out here, as well as Wixie, but about 40 seconds before Dragon spawns, a play is trying to be had in the mid lane. Joey not able to find the rocket grab. TP will be utilized by ADD to the top side of the map, and it should just be, right now at least, a position for Winnie with this vision to maybe contest this this dragon, as actually Chad down there as well might be able to fight it.
It's a small thing, but I think that Darkwing's holding on to the ult there, not ulting Joey under the turret, tells me that they're actually looking to fight this dragon. SkyTech, importantly, did get 6 off that bot wave. And at the moment, this is in control. Oh, Winnie.
Oh, get the engage there. And Joey will go down first. There's a trade now. 1-to-1. ADD with the flank, though, comes in. He doesn't get pushed back. And now Chad in forward. Double kill for Dark Wings. Is he going to... Oh, my God. Chad just healed so much damage. Chad chases down Lynx. And Wixie has gotten a double kill for himself. AOE, the tragedy, has struck Dark Wings. He gets one back.
Oh, what a fight as Chaos hits the Rift. IMT went out with the Herald. I think the big thing that turned that fight around, though, was Wixie joined. His chain of corruption was massive, and the ability for this poke Varus to chain a lot of his abilities off the chain of corruption is what turned the fight around for IMT, because this start is good for AOE. Again, turning as a team, making a play together. SkyTech, Winnie, link up, find the pick on the Joey, and ADD gets blown up too, so this fight's not that great. When we have the Olaf go down, but the Emperor's Divide being removed there, they got the damage down on Olaf. Chad gets so much healing. Oh my God. Okay, Chad's
That's
healing
what I was saying in the fight. Like, he literally was going to die, and he got full health.
Wixie joining to turn things around was massive, and we might just have a second fight. Watch Joey. Some of the spells are down.
This is off the back of item completions here. Dragon goes over to AOE. Now they take the fight, but immediately SkyTech has to go gold, and Joey goes down as well. See Balulu on the side. Wixie, Chad trying to chase down. Wixie might want to get the follow-up, but Chad goes down first. Trade back. Wixie gets the kill. Wixie? Chains of Corruption comes out. Balulu's taking up a storm, but Dark Wings is too damn big, and Balulu falls while getting a killing spree. The shutdown goes to Lynx, and we got Chaos back at it.
Game 6 on the day, baby. It's getting a little bit crazy here as that fight from IMT. I think IMT, they weren't able to go in as a squad there. They were a little bit split. AOE, I think they had much better target selection in this fight than IMT did, and that was a big difference.
It absolutely was. We'll get a replay of that one as well, and that's set up.
So, SkyTech goes golden, is able to sneak out, but we blew so many cooldowns into SkyTech. Look at how AOE responds in the back half. When they retreat here, Chad goes in too early. I mean, it's a 3v3, but look at how they turn on the Chad. They take him out instantly. After that, they get Wixie.
So much.
Yeah, they get Wixie on the route. Great deadly flourish from Lynx. That's what enabled for Darkwings to pilot this fight really nicely on the Azir. But I think that was opened up by the target selection as AOE as a team picked better targets, and that's how they got more members down earlier in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Wixie's definitely going to want that flashback, though, for sure. After the end of that one, though, we come out with a 4-1 Darkwings as a very, very strong piece on the board for AOE Gold. The Dragons have been going their way. They have 2 now. We are looking at a little while till the next objective fight, but that does not mean that things calm down. Joey will be looking for these rocket grabs as much as possible now that IMT are trying to get back into the grip of things.
The Blitzcrank Rengar duo is pretty deadly if they are able to find people, so we will see if that can happen. But Darkwings is a problem at this point, man. He's got 2 levels on Balulu, and now we're just going on the Chad.
You do see the big pushback potential from Darkwings. Chad getting low, Joey going down first, Chad burning a little bit. Gale Force, no, it actually was the bird, and a double kill goes to Winnie. We thought things were going so well for IMTC, but it's not anymore, Cubby, not no way.
They're the ones that have the 4-stack. They had the push. Balulu was stuck under the bot tower, so AOE sees that. They have a bonus member. They're the ones that start the fight in turn as AOE, again, continues to play well and make these team decisions. That's been the greatest strength to AOE in this early season, and it's really paying off in this best of 2.
Rift Herald, the way of AOE Gold. Let's look at SkyTech's engage.
Balulu's bot, so they have numbers. Darkwings is the strong member. He sidesteps the chain of corruption. The fight's over there.
I think seeing the commitment, at least, especially from Lynx at that early onset of the fight, just knows that AOE are going all into that fight as well.
Mm-hmm. And AOE, I mean, this was a crushing early game for IMT. Like, they were able to get a lot of fights to go in their favor. But AOE on the back half, now that the summoner spells are down, you know, you'd think that the team with the Rengar, Blitzcrank, Varus, they would be the ones playing for picks, but no, it's Winnie and SkyTech, again, syncing up as this 2v2. Been really sound playmaking, and look at who's fed. Darkwings is so big this game. Oh.
been doing so much. Rocket grab, not going to get there. He's too quick. The gold buffer is helping him a little bit here, for sure. But it is that Roa stacking up on the side of IMT's Balulu. You got a little bit of that scaling aspect. You got the lethality build coming out from Wixie. We got also a fight happening in bot lane where SkyTech has died now. So
all right,
you have that.
There's the pick. That's what we were looking for on the side of IMT. As nice hook coming out there from Joey. That's going to open up the map quite a bit and should lead to this bot outer being taken. AOE can't answer as Winnie's in base, so good stuff from IMT.
I'd love to see the next setup around this dragon, though. About 50 seconds here for AOE Gold to get back out onto the map. Obviously, we'll be having a lot of time to do so. But getting the soul point for them would be actually huge on a Mountain Soul. And stopping a little bit of that burst potential there for IMTC. And you see they're coming back on the map here now.
AOE does have to be really careful as IMT has complete control over the spot side jungle. And Joey Chad, they're fishing. They're going to find SkyTech.
Does SkyTech walk?
Oh, no, they want Darkwings.
Jungle. They got Darkwings! No! Okay, he's got the shifting sands. He's out of there.
I mean, it's a free flash on the side of IMT. They just picked up off AOE 10 seconds before the dragon. I will say, Chad hasn't based, and IMT is like on a split reset right now because Joey and Chad waited for that. But they're still going to TP in and see if they can find this. Darkwings, he doesn't have that empowered TP available, so he's going to hang around with a little bit of low health bars here. And we'll see if IMT can do anything about that.
Got all the tools available while AOE start up the dragon. Rip Herald used as a distraction, but ADD is now moving forward. You got to get Chad in the pit. Darkwings is down. So is the rest of AOE. It feels like who's going to get the dragon? It goes over to Chad. The big knockback from Gamsu delivers them to the rest of his team. And Lynx was hovering around the edge, but Winnie has to flash away. Chad heals up so much again. And a double kill had come through for Gamsu. They're chasing Chad, but Balulu goes forward now. Gamsu shutdown goes to Chad, and Lynx will get one back. He's on a killing spree, but another shutdown will slowly and surely go over to Immortals Challengers.
Balulu comes up big, and that was all set up by Chad and Joey. Because again, Darkwings, he was low HP. They got the flash off him. He had to stick around. He had the empowered TP up just before, or as the dragon spawned, but he didn't reset, didn't TP back. Props to Joey. The flash hook here on the Darkwings again. His TP is just coming off a cooldown if you check the bottom of your screen. Darkwings, this dragon's already started. This is where AOE, I think, is playing a little bit too fast. Get Darkwings to base. Get him a full health bar. Because Joey just flash hook on the Darkwings. Nothing that he can do to react. He gets taken down immediately. That's the strongest member of AOE off the board for this fight. And IMT punished.
It was a great punishment from IMT. I think Balulu obviously being very, very clutch with that grand entrance, or at least his grand entrance, his version of that big engage on the backline. I think Balulu has been so good at his positioning around a lot of these fights as well, and it's been something that constant forward press has been working out for them.
Props to Lynx in the back half too. He actually played this decently well. Not enough, but
he's just a Jhin, you know.
Yeah. Balulu going a little bit crazy. And now we have both mid laners fed after that fight, Mazel. I know we've had a lot of focus around our junglers and our bot lanes here, given the meta and some of the matchups that we've seen, but it looks like this game is going to come down to Balulu and Darkwings.
Or ADD getting all the gold he could ask for on the lanes. We'll see. He does take the outer tower there, but it looks like IMT were fishing in the top side of the map. Again, that's like the big strategic ploy right now for IMT in these downtime moments. Just look with Joey to find the picks.
And this game, after the blistering pace that we've been at so far, Mazel. All right, I was going to say it's slowed down, but that's still a Rengar ult pop, so IMT's looking to keep playing fast, and we'll see if they can actually find anyone here, as Chad's looking to cut off the members of AOE. We could have a fight. Oh, good dodge by SkyTech. He's going to go.
SkyTech wants it to. Goes in. Nice. Right on top of the curtain call. Darkwings with the Emperor's Divide.
Beautiful.
And they've gotten two of them. That's big for AOE. They turn potentially onto Baron.
Mad Magical highlighted SkyTech's Rakan, how he was able to hit Grandmaster playing at mid AP. The Shirelias to dodge out on the skill shots, IMT, and then the turn was beautiful from SkyTech. And we'll see if Balulu can really make something happen here.
Winnie gets the bear, the big Shuriba shuffle for Balulu. Doesn't get what he wanted, and Darkwings makes sure to get the shutdown. Trying to chase down ADD now, but the Baron picked up for AOE means they have themselves the lead, and they can reset peacefully.
And AOE continue to make decisive plays, Mazel. I think that's been the biggest strength of AOE still so far, but it's great to see those plays not only coming from Winnie, but also Skytech, who's having himself a great series today.
Hey, that's the most important thing, is especially Skytech having developed as a player, it feels like, throughout collegiate, but as well as into the fold of semi-pro, and known for those engagers, is not shying away from that here in this split and over the last year. I think it's been really crucial.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the Shirelli is instantly when he sees both of them, and then the turn because IMT was split. Guys, that's really good gameplay coming out of Skytech, and I love the follow-up from Darkwings too. Again, this fight's over before it starts because the setup from AoE is just that damn good. Once IMT can't connect on their play, that play's over. AoE realizes that. They turn it instantly. Really, really well done.
And the thing that's perfect about Lynx on this gen is he's a lot of facilitation for the rest of the team in that setup, right? The slowdown from the curtain call and the deadly flourish is really getting the brunt of the force of AoE in there. I think the combo right now, the draft style changing from game 1 to game 2 has benefited AoE Gold.
I mean, it's different texture, but it is the same style in a sense. And I feel like they've done each really well. And a lot of it's just been off of Winnie and Skytech playing together.
We'll see as they move it to clear out some vision here. The IMT don't necessarily want to let that go. There's a TP coming into the bottom side as a bit of a flank here. Joey can land a big rocket grab. That's huge, but Balulu has set up behind the Dragon Pit, Cubby.
Darkwings is full HP this time, and they're really getting a big chunk on the ADD. IMT has to play through bot. Look at Balulu. They have a nice collapse right now.
There we go. Grab on the Lynx. Lynx is down. They got the combo from Balulu. He gets pushed up, but it doesn't matter. Kamsu gets a 5-man ult, but quickly dashed is AoE Gold.
Oh my god, this game just keeps getting crazier, Mazel. As AoE, they get wiped off the face of the map from Balulu's Silas. He's the only one that went down, but he's the one that made that play happen. As IMT, again, these guys, first full week practicing as a team, they said things have been starting to feel better. They've been working on their fights a lot when I was talking to them behind the scenes. This is a very clutch fight when they needed it the most in the back half of this game, and Balulu made it work.
He gets to the TP flank so early over here. Dashes over the wall. AoE started up.
I mean, this is just all Balulu on the play. They funnel him into the choke, and then Balulu with the Silas. That's the fight over before it starts. He gives AoE a taste of their own medicine with a superior setup. Balulu, that was massive, baby.
That was so massive. The Meganar steal into the wall. Gamsu got his own version of that, but it was nowhere near as impactful. And now we come back onto the state where IMT have pushed themselves back to an even game state 25 minutes in.
Back in fourth game here, Mazel. No dragon stacking allowed for the side of AoE. And I gotta say, those two mountain dragons, they're gonna do a lot of work here on the side of IMT, trying to get them to survive maybe, some of the burstier poke that we could see out of a champion, like Elise from Winnie. I think that IMT, it looks like they have control over the map right now, Mazel. This game's really balancing on a nice edge. I mean, we got two dragons. We're even gold. Game 6 delivering, baby.
It really is, giving us a nice little energetic outro to the day to kick off week number 3 here. Really want to see the next steps for IMT as they're trying to find their little bit of home around the map, get some of this vision game down. A lot of vision focus for AoE down towards this bot side of the map. We see their hunting party is looking for Chad.
I gotta say, I think one of the big differences in these fights too as we move forward, there are 2 Radiant Virtues available for IMT.
True.
Versus none from AoE. That item is still very, very strong.
You got 2 pickaxes for Gamsu. What do you do with pickaxes, Cody?
Maybe we have a Sterax build coming out. I don't know. This is
It's the new Sterax build.
Nars got 2 hands. He's got 2 hands. Come on.
Yeah, but then he wields a boomerang. I don't know. I don't want to get too bogged down with the details. We got Superhero Gnar over here. A couple item completions now coming across here as well, though. I'm sure Skytech going to be going back for his. But you got those double Zanyas on the side of AOE. Yeah. You're looking, as we were saying, speaking about it, Chad completing his third item now with that Maw. And as well as Wixie.
Wixie had that big spike right now on this poke. Varus. Lynx will start to outscale after this point of the game. But we will see if IMT can catch this in. They have full control right now. And keep in mind, this comp's very deadly when it comes to finding picks. We have a Rengar and a Blitzcrank roaming together. I think so far the difference of the series has been Witty and Skytech making the plays. But IMT, they got, I mean, that flank from Balulu, that saved the game. That gave them the opportunity to actually split this. And we'll see if IMT can, take that massive play from Balulu and turn it into a win really from the grasp of defeat.
There's honestly such a big item differential right now between IMT and AOE. Do they play with it though? Joey, they ain't gonna have that item differential for long if they get picked off like this. And Joey already down, ADD almost going down as well.
And that's as Baron spawns. So, we see a TP. Balulu's already getting behind him.
Again, he's just going for these crazy flanks. I don't think he was seen.
No, he's not seen, but Darkwings is sniffing it out.
He's got it. He's going to kill him. Oh, the double shuffle. I don't know. We got to make a dance move after that one.
Balulu's still going to hunt. Chad's here.
Chad was coming like a speeding bullet that way.
Darkwings does have the empowered TP.
Balulu, Batman. He repel from Witty, gets him over the edge. Chad wants to chase him down, but Balulu goes down now. Chains of Corruption on for Wixie.
Look at Gamsu.
Tanking up. Gamsu getting low. He's dead as well. Not going to find the Mega Gnar in time. Chad now chasing down AOE. And we were off the rails earlier on the broadcast, but it's looking like AOE have just gone clean off of them here. That's ADD's under tower. Takes down Witty, and an ace for Immortals Progressive Challengers.
This game has been back and forth. It's been everywhere, but the big difference for IMT on the back half, it's Balulu, the second fight in a row where he goes down. But he's trading himself for the most valuable member of AOE and Darkwings in both of these fights. And that's what's enabling IMT to step up and actually make these plays in team fight as Balulu made the space IMT needed. Guys, this is, like, honestly, homicidal from Balulu. Like, this is ballistic, man. He's going in 1v4, doesn't give any cares in the world. He's going to go down, but again, you're taking away the Azir. Azir's been what's been following up on the Wombos from AOE. And when he's off the table, this fight just got so much easier for the side of IMT because Azir is the DPS, he is the power, and that split the fight completely in favor of IMT. Also, props to Wixie, had some really nice skill shots that helped make sure that fight went in favor of AOE as the fadeaway axe from ADD that puts the nail in the coffin. And we're still fighting, man. We got a Mountain Dragon up. This game's been back and forth. It's Baron and a gold lead now for IMT, but who knows? I mean, this game's been everywhere, man. It's still up in the air.
All right, AOE now trying to make the great escape here as they did take their soul point dragon. Joey wants to go for it. Can't find the rocket jump. It was so close.
All eyes on Balulu, man. He's level 16. He's got some really valuable ultimates. Gnar, Azir is enough. The quickness ain't too bad either on the Silas, but I think he's going to be looking for those big wombos. And we'll see if he can connect, because that's been what has been the big difference for IMT in this game.
And with this push and the Baron buff still up for 2 minutes for them, they have so much wiggle room to just push this in. They're looking at an NM tower here as well. Yes. Oh, big shot. Balulu yet again. He's making his name known here in the NACL. We have IMT with a triple kill for Wixie. An absolute dominion over Gamsu and AOE. They pull it back from the brink of destruction and slam it in AOE Gold's face. A pentakill for Wixie and a game win for IMTC.
And I gotta say, for IMT, when I was at their camp, the vibes were good. They were like, this has been our first full week together. We feel like things are starting to come together. And that was a game that I think they should have lost. But from really like from defeat. Balulu, what a hero for IMT in this game. He was a maniac on the Silas, and every time he found and traded himself for Darkwings. That's a great understanding of what you had to do in that game when Azir was so fed early on, and that for me is the big difference for why IMT took the game.
Man, all I'm gonna say now, Wixie is now tied with Lynx for the pentakills.
I didn't want to focus on that. It was an impressive penna.
Incredible
I like the
stuff
playmakers,
from IMTC. It was really, really well done. We're going to take a short little break. We'll have our interview with Magical and IMTC after this. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, welcome back to the LCS Challengers League. I'm Mad Magical, and I've got the mid laner of Immortals Progressive Challengers with me, Balulu. Balulu, this is really our first time getting to talk to you since you've come here to NA, so why don't you introduce yourself a little bit more so that the viewers out there can get to know you just a bit more.
Okay, so firstly, thank you for having me.
Of course.
I played a little bit about my career. I played in TCL for the past since 2019, and I've won TCL most of the splits. Went to MSI once, went to Worlds twice. So I would count as a veteran player, I guess now. Time flies fast. Yeah, that's like about me.
Hey, you know, that's plenty, honestly. You got to keep humble sometimes. Be like, yo, you know, just a subtle flex of
my career, nothing else.
Right, yeah, just a subtle flex too of like, I've been to MSI and Worlds twice, you know.
I mean, it's all I got. It's all I got. So I gotta flex it, you know.
Yeah, you go with it. That's what I say. But you know, let's talk about the games that we had today, because the second game we're gonna hold off for, because that game was amazing. But let's talk about the first game. You know, not the best performance, but I kind of want to talk with like how you've been since you've come here to NA. And you know, last week you got what, a day of scrims total, and so now you've technically only had a week going into this one. How's that really been for you trying to prepare for all of the games for NACL?
So I think if you're efficient with your time on the team, I think you can improve so much in like just a day or two of scrims. So us having 1 day of scrims coming into our first real week with me was very hard because we didn't know our playstyles that much, how we wanted to play the game. So it took a while and we took some losses to kind of learn that. But coming into this week, we had a like clear plan of how we want to play, what we want to do, and we're just playing a bit more meta and getting to know each other in game more. So it's feeling great. And honestly, dropping that first game, I feel a bit disappointed because we were feeling really strong in scrims this week, and we had a lot of confidence coming in. So it was a bit of like a blow to the stomach. I think it just came down to like team fighting and stuff. I think I inted a lot of team fights. I just played too aggressively, and because I'm not like coming into the competitive yet. I just feel like I'm just sitting back and like playing solo queue, just like dashing in and flashing into the backline. So definitely it's a bit hard to adapt to the. I'm getting into the competitive.
Rhythm, yeah.
The rhythm, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I know it's also kind of hard because in that game, Skytech's Rel was really difficult to kind of deal with, especially because you were trying to slide behind and try to get these plays, and then Magnet Storm, it's like, oh, I don't get a move, you know? So it was rough, but let's skip over that one. You know, we got to talk about it. I really want to focus on that second game because, dude, you popped off. That was such a great game to see from you. Like, we know what you're capable of. Obviously, you know, you even said been to MSI, been to Worlds twice, so we know you are a world caliber player, and we gotta see that in that game. So how does that feel, having that kind of performance bouncing in from game one where it's kind of meh to game two where you're like, yeah, I'm a god?
So I felt like coming in, off the first game I was just looking at my screen, looking at the team fighting, just like grabbing my hair and being a bit angry at myself. So I felt like either I double down on this game and go for the risky plays, or not risky, but I have to go.
Well, there was a risky play, though. What was it?
Yeah.
Over the wall into 4 people?
Since our early game was a bit shaky, me looking for the flank and looking for these creative plays, I felt was necessary. So I felt like doubling down or nothing kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, I just got a good flank. They forgot about me. There were some really good ults in that game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just was feeling it that game, to put it that way.
I mean, you did get an insane stolen 4-man Gnar ult that like literally made the game go from where you're slowly losing to just, oh, suddenly now we're in the lead. So I kind of walk it. Okay, here we go. We get a nice little tweet too about you after that one. Balulu, best mid laner in NACL. I mean, after that game, I would definitely be all aboard that hype train.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I don't wanna call myself and have like, oh, I'm best mid laner, but I'm definitely top 3, I'd say.
You gotta stay humble. I understand. You know, you don't want everyone to think you're that cocky.
I'm not the best, but like, yeah, if you wanna say it, I don't mind. You know.
yeah, there we go. That's the attitude I like. All right, so. Like, now looking towards the future, how you guys played today, and you talked about how scrims were going well, you felt very confident. Do you think you're still going to have that confidence moving forward throughout this weekend and into the next weeks?
So I think we're improving really fast. I think that our coaching staff is doing a great job. A lot of individual coaching and a lot of like team fight coaching we're doing. It's improving our team drastically. So it's a bit of like a process, because when you like start to learn kind of the game from scratch, like the fundamentals, you kind of forget your own style.
Right.
So you're kind of like your gameplay goes down a bit, but then eventually, since like Academy Challengers is like a marathon, you just have to improve as much as possible for playoffs.
Right.
We're looking at it for like the long run, and I'm very confident that we're going to improve enough and be the best team in Challengers.
I look forward to that. So before I let you go, shout outs to anybody, to your team. What do you got for me?
Sorry?
Shout outs to like who, fans, family members. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I think my family and friends are sleeping right now in Sweden, so I don't think they're watching. I'm glad they missed the first game. I'm just going to tell them to watch the second one. But shout outs, I mean, to everyone at Immortals, honestly. It's a great organization. I'm really happy to be here. And I don't know if there's a lot of supporters, but I hope there are. And if there are, thank you for supporting us. Big shout out to my teammates. Very good guys. I'm really happy to be here.
All right, thanks, Balulu. You're awesome. Congrats on picking up that dub in such a dominating fashion. And just tell everyone it was a best of 1. Don't tell them it was a best of 2. That's what you got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you later, man. I'm going to bring back our casters to wrap up the show. So, Mazel, we got you back. We got Kobe back here. It was great having Balulu get to talk about that game. So now I much prefer hearing him talk about the game, but I'll hear you guys talk about it, too.
Yeah, throw us under the bus like that. No, I love hearing from Balulu, of hearing some of that confidence built up there as well, and just hearing that he's happy under the Immortals banner.
No, it was really fun. Like, I got to stop by the IMT camp yesterday. They were, I guess, see some practice. We watched the LCS team win. They were playing a lot of ping pong. I think the environment's really good. And yeah, as they said, they shared they've been doing pretty well in scrims. I think that they can go back and learn some things from their stage games today. But the big thing is that when it counted, Balulu really stepped up in that game too. And I think that the 3 plays he made on Silas to trade himself for Azir, that's what won the game for IMT. So the fact that he could come over to NA and do that immediately, I'd love to hear some of the confidence behind him, and can't wait to see more of that good play.
All right, now let's wrap up the day. Let's look at the standings that we had for today. You look at the top of the brackets, and surprise, we already kind of knew the surprise was that Cloud9 Challengers losing 0-2 to Wildcard, who now have tied them in the standings.
Wow. I know I shared that earlier, but wow, those I'm gonna have to go over those VODs.
These standings
on my
spicy,
stream later tonight.
I love them.
Gotta say, it's gonna be a spicy night of VOD reviewing once Path to LCS is wrapped, but I understand that we still have game 2 of Fear versus EGC over there.
So why don't we skip over everything else? We already know what's going on. I want to get over to there. I want to watch Path to LCS. So it was great having everyone here to watch the games. We had a lot of excitement, but you know what? We got more excitement over on twitch.tv/Path to LCS. That'll do it for myself, Mad Magical, Mazel, and Cubby. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and we'll see you on Path to LCS and then tomorrow.